When I come to the computer, the first thing I'll do is get into the spectrometer. And here I can see the spectrometer control. First thing I'll need to do is pick the appropriate user. So right now the last user was a Chem 242 user. But if I'm in Chem 241, then I can go to change user and select Chem 241 and enter in the appropriate password. Then I can see some samples here from other users, but I'm going to add a new sample for my work. And I want the sample name here to get the sample back to me and also have some way to identify it. So maybe this is experiment for product. I can select my solvent from the drop-down menu, which is most likely chloroform, but could be something else. And then I know that I put my sample in slot 6, so I'll enter that. I can enter in my email address, and depending on what my professor or TA has asked, maybe I'll also need to enter in another email address, or maybe I have a lab partner. I want to make sure that shared is checked so that potentially other users could use my sample if they wanted to, and more importantly, that verified is checked because this means that the sample is definitely in the carousel. So my sample is in slot 6. Maybe I also want to do a second sample where I want to compare an experiment 4 to the starting material. And that one's also in chloroform, but then this one's in slot 7. And I'm going to do the same thing. It's verified. So I can select one or more samples that I want to include in my next thing. And I can then come down to the bottom to either create a new job or update a job that I've used previously. So in this case, I can create a new job specifically for these samples. And then I can come here and select the methods that I want. So maybe I want a proton or a carbon or both of those. I can select more than one. In this case, I'll just select a proton and add that to the job so that each of these samples will have a proton spectrum. If I need to, I can adjust parameters. So some things you might think about, like I'm probably not going to be here when the data return to the screen. I'll just have it email me. So I don't need to see that. But I do want it to email me both the raw data and the PDF. In this case, most of the time, the default scans and offset and sweep width will be fine. So we'll just do that. Then I can submit my job and the spectrometer will start working on that. And I'll be able to see that my job is in the queue.